Hi guys, I'm Whitney Whitaker, the owner and dog trainer here at Milligan Valley Canine Academy, and I'm here today to talk to you about a cool method that we as dog trainers use. I guess not all dog trainers use, but some of us do, and it's called tone avoidance. Tone avoidance is a method that we use to establish boundaries with dogs inside the home. Pretty cool stuff. This method is actually here in recent years been such a cornerstone into our program that we require all of our clients to do it with their dogs. In fact, I tell owners, if you don't go home and do this with your dogs, you're a non-client for us. That's how effective this technique is. So let's first talk about why boundaries are important. Okay, so dogs are dying daily from getting into things they should not be getting into. The garbage, right? Eating toxic things that they've grabbed out of the garbage or off of the countertops, right? Not to mention their own health risk, but it's frustrating. As owners, it's totally frustrating to have these animals living in our homes and they know no boundaries. Everything's theirs. Whatever they want, they get it, they grab it, they jump for it. They'll get it if they want to. And that's frustrating to live that way. Boundaries are really, really important to have a good overall relationship with your dog, right? So I have employees. Let's just think about this. I have employees. Every week, my employees get a paycheck from me. My employees, though, do not go and sit down at my desk, get my checkbook, and write their own paychecks, right? That would be crossing a boundary, right? And we think about that, we're like, I can imagine doing that to my boss, right? But yet, we allow these dogs to come into our homes and just run the show. They want to jump up on the couch, parkour off of the couch, jump up in the window, get in the kitty litter box, grab a sandwich off the counter. They do it. They know no boundaries. Well, the fact of the matter is, why should they know boundaries if they haven't been taught? So we have to teach them. So here's the theory of how tone avoidance works. And at the end of this video, we're actually going to show you in real time, kind of like us working this tone avoidance technique with a dog. So that'll be cool. You know, when you watch all the way to the end, you'll get to see that. But here's why this theory works. So we think about the underground fence theory, right? And how that works. So if this is my yard and this is my neighbor's yard, right? And I have an underground fence buried between my yard and my neighbor's yard. The dog, how the theory of the underground fence works, the dog walks up to the boundary, the collar goes beep. The dog challenges the boundary and the collar goes beep, shock. The dog goes, whoa, I don't want to go over there again. And then hence the boundary is laid. So now modern technology, skill set, we're able to do this thing called tone avoidance on the ecollar. We use the mini educator from ecollar technologies. That's the ecollar that we prefer. And it has a tone feature. Now, we use tone for tone avoidance. We use tone instead of just giving the dog, because you might think, well, why not just give the dog a correction for crossing a boundary, right? Such as getting in the trash. Why don't you just give them a correction? Well, you could, and I did, many of my colleagues did for many, many, many years. And it works, but it doesn't work nearly as well as tone correct. Why is that? Honestly, we don't really know. To be truthful, we don't really know. We just know that it works. It's almost as if a friend of mine, Eric Stambro, who runs Van Ness and Ridgeside Canine, he said this to me. It's like almost as if the threat of stim is worse than stim itself. So, example, in the past, right? Dog gets into the kitty litter box or gets into the trash, right? And you give them a high level correction on the e-collar, it does work. But when you associate tone with the same correction, it works 10 times better and quicker. Why? Again, it's almost as if the threat of stim is worse than the stim itself, right? So it works, and that's pretty much all we need to know about it. So what you're going to do is when the dog gets close to a boundary, and you can make a boundary out of anything, right? I've put boundaries around cats. I've put boundaries around toddlers, right? With aggressive dogs. I have put boundaries around pretty much anything. So I want you to get creative with this. Don't sit around and go, I don't know, my dog doesn't really get into stuff. Really? Like maybe they don't get into stuff. I'll give you that. But you don't have a dog who comes over to your end table, right, and just gets a little too close for comfort with your sandwich sitting there on the end table? Probably do. So put a boundary around it. So the boundary, so if this is example, if I don't want my dog to be nosing up to the end table, right? I want to be able to be having a snack, sit down, put my, taco down here on the end table and go, oh, I think I'll walk into the kitchen and get a beer and know that I'm going to come back to the taco, right? Then I need to have a boundary there, right? So the boundary isn't when the dog is all the way up on the table eating the taco. The boundary is about right here, right when they're getting real close. So what you would do is the dog would walk up, collar would go beep. The dog will kind of turn around, look at you and go, what's up? What'd you do? Why'd that happen? Don't talk to them. Don't engage with them. Don't look at them. Do nothing. The dog will go back to the boundary. And walk back up to the boundary. You get about here. Beep. Correct. High level. I'm not going to give you a number, but a high level. High level correction. And they should book it away from there and go, holy crap, what happened to the end table? Again, don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Don't touch them. Don't engage with them. Why? Why do I say that? Well, because I want these boundaries to be about the end table, the trash can, the kitty litter box. I don't want the boundaries to be about you. If the boundaries become about you, then the dog will go, well, when my mom goes downstairs to do a load of laundry and she's not policing me, well, then I can get into stuff. So you can do this. You can spy on your dogs through a ring cam, baby monitor, FaceTime. You don't even have to be in the room to be able to do this. But make it about the object itself and not about you policing them, standing there with the remote going, just go ahead and do it. It's not the way you want to do it at all. So what I tell people is bait your dog. Like literally bait them. Get some peanut butter, spread it on the edge of the table, right? If they get into the kitty litter box or something, drag the kitty litter box out a little bit, sort of tempt them. Set all your boundaries, get it done and over with. For folks out there that have a hard time with correction, I'm like, you need to look at the forest through the trees. Like seriously. If you're having a hard time giving your dog a high-level correction on a remote collar, you need to do some self-reflection there. Because you sit and answer my phone calls for a month and you'll change your mind. Dogs are dying and being rehomed on the daily because of bad behaviors, because of getting into things that have killed them, getting bowel obstructions, toxic poisoning, things of that nature. All because we need to set some boundaries in our life. So really think about that. When you do this tone avoidance thing, I promise you it will be life-changing for you and for your dog. So next, what you're going to see is you're going to see this in action. All right. So before we bring our first candidate out to do this baiting so that we can show you, I want to show you on the Mini Educator, which is the e-collar that we use. want to show you, there's the tone button. Okay. So I want to show you distance. So we already got our food here that we're going to bait him with. Okay. So when the dog gets to be about right here, first thing you're going to do is beep. And that will interrupt the dog's thought. The dog will, most dogs will hear that beep and they'll turn around and go, what's up? What did you need? What was that? Huh? Like they'll react to the beep. So they're going to get that first initial warning. That's it. One warning for life. One warning for life. So they're going to go to the table and you're going to get that initial warning, and then they're going to go back. They're going to go, okay, you didn't need anything? Or, oh, okay, that weird beep went away. Whatever. Anyway, there's a snack on the table. They're going to go back. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go, beep, correct. And they'll book it out of there. If they go back a second time, either later that day or the next day or 2 days later, you need to increase your numbers. Like, high. Go high. Get this done and over with so that we can save these dogs' lives and have a better relationship with them moving forward.